How you doing out there today? What I'd like to talk about is left-handed people purchasing and using right-handed Sebenzas. When I began my search for Sebenzas a few months ago, I was having trouble finding left-handed versions of the different knives that I wanted. Um, and to this date, I've still yet been able to find a left-handed large Sebenza with wood inlay. So at the time, what I chose to do was purchase a right-handed version of this particular knife to use until I find a left-handed version. And as time has gone by, I really don't regret that purchase. I've been able to master opening the right-handed version with my left hand fairly well, although I would prefer to have a left-handed knife. I wouldn't really recommend against anyone buying a right-handed knife if they're a lefty. As you can see, I can flick the knife open, with my left hand fairly easily with very little wrist flick. Closing the blade is almost, as easy with the left hand as with the right hand. That works very well. And if you want to open the knife, in a slower motion, that's the one, I guess, way to deploy the knife that is a little bit more cumbersome, because what I found I had to do is slightly bring the blade out and just break the detent hold, and then rotate it around with my thumb. So it's a two-step process. So again, closing the knife, very simple, left or right-handed. To do a slow deployment, just break the detent a little bit and rotate it around. Do you need a second thumb stud? Probably not. For that particular method of opening, the thumb stud would help a little bit, but once the detent is cracked open a little bit, there's really very little friction on the blade. And from what I've been told, if there is another thumb stud here, to try and get in there and push the blade out with that little bit of space that's behind the dual thumb stud is probably harder than it looks. So most people might end up using their middle finger anyway, even if they do have dual thumb studs in a two-stage deployment. So